Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Recently I did a video covering season 12 of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, which was The Reckoning. You may or may not have seen the video. I'm going to post a link below so that if you're interested you can go back and take a look at it. As a result of that video, I've had a couple of requests actually, to show more Buffy books. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to show bits and pieces of Buffy over the next few months, and hopefully people will enjoy that. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer, this series that I'm going to cover today, which is season 8. I'm going to cover the first half of season 8 today. Was the reason I really got back into comic book collecting, because someone had told me that the Buffy series, the Buffy show, continued in the comic books. And so when I went to check it out, I picked that up and 6 other books, and that turned into this. I mean, it wasn't hard for me to get back into comics. I loved them as a kid. And I collected right up to about 1996, when I felt that comics were getting too expensive, and not, as a Canadian, and at that time the dollar was really bad, and comics were costing $4 or $5 in 1996, which was half an hour's wages back then. So it was a little harder to collect back then. Now, season 8 of Buffy was by far the longest series of the seasons that followed the TV show. This series ran for 40 issues from 2007 to 2011. I got in about issue, I want to say 30, 31. So, and then this series became the first series that I completed. I finished the series as I went, and I went back and bought all the books over the course. Actually, the first time I ever visited Rob was my local comic shop. The first time I visited him was to fill in some holes, because I had called him and he said he had the books I needed. So I went there and was able to do this. This series had a simple. This series had some things where it was um, two covers each. There was a painted cover and a drawn cover. Okay, I have some of each. So in this, I was more worried about getting the story than I was about getting the cover variants. I didn't even really know about variants at the time. That was a relatively new phenomenon when I started collecting again. So whatever issue was available, I bought. And it was the same with season 9, season 10, season 11, and 12. They all had double covers. And as I said, one painted, one not. As opposed to the first Buffy series that came out while the show was still on, where they had photo covers and drawn covers in some cases. Not every issue of that series had a variant. Anyway, basically, okay, this is considered to be canonical. Canonical. So they are considered to be a continuation of the series, and Joss Whedon was very involved, at least with seasons 8 and 9. Okay, specifically in this series, he actually wrote about half the books, so that's part of why it's canon, and why this series, more than any other one, brings back a lot of characters that were from the TV series that hadn't been seen in a while, and things like that. You will get to see. Some of these books are single shot adventures. Most of them are storylines that go for a couple of issues. Um, but this book was considered a success at the time, and because of that, they added an Angel series not long after. An Angel season, I guess 6, because Angel ended up with five TV seasons. So the series will open a year after the destruction of Sunnydale, as seen in the TV series finale. At the beginning of the series, Buffy and Xander are running a command central type of place for psychics, witches, seers, and slayers. Because if you remember in season 7, all of the slayers were activated, all the potentials. So a lot of them that are still alive are working with Buffy. They say about 50% in the book. The US government and a lot of other governments around the world consider this group unofficially to be terrorists because of the destruction of Sunnydale. Obviously, they don't know what really happened, so governments being what they are, especially, paranoid in some cases, that's how it goes. So I've been rambling for a bit now, so why don't we just go to the books? This is book 1 of season 8. Buffy leads a squad of slayers in Scotland with Xander's help. And Dawn is there as well, but for some reason she's been turned into a giant. Meanwhile, the US government is investigating what happened at Sunnydale and wants to find out exactly and would like to get their hands on Buffy to find out what exactly went on there. This here is issue 2. I gotta admit, that's a pretty cool shot of Xander. Okay, the government recruits Amy Madison. If you remember who she was the one that turned into a cat and then came back as their operator to dispatch of Buffy. They've decided to assassinate her. Traveling to Scotland, she unleashes an army of zombies on the castle and binds Buffy into a Snow White situation. By that I mean she's put her in a trance that can only be broken by true love's kiss. This book is more Willow centric, and the cover shows that. This is Buffy number 3. While she's in her sleep, Buffy explores her dream world with, of all people, Ethan Rayne. And if you remember who he is, he's the not so friend of Giles, who's a very, very bad man, who's like a witch, a warlock. Willow shows up to help with the fight in Scotland and takes over. And this is number 4. By the way, issues 1 to 4 comprise a storyline called The Long Way Home. This is issue 4 here. Amy kidnaps Willow and gives her to her boyfriend, the skinless Warren Mears. Apparently, he survived. Xander and some witches attempt to create a portal to send Buffy, who has been woken up from her trance, and Satsu, who's a slayer, to Willow's rescue. Meanwhile, a government agent warns Buffy about someone named Twilight. Issue 5, and here's one of the painted covers. Issue 5 stands alone. Basically, a young woman reveals how she went from high school student to Buffy decoy, as in, like, if you remember in The Phantom Menace, there was the one girl that, covered for Padme when Padme wanted to be safe. Well, it's a similar situation. Buffy got herself a second. The next 4 books, issues 6 to 9, are together. They're a storyline called No Future for You. This is one of my favorite covers of the run. I'm a big fan of Faith, almost as much as Buffy. I will say Buffy's better, but she's on the cover here of number 6. The actress is one of the ones I've had the pleasure of meeting. Her autograph is on my wall. Basically, we cut now to Cleveland, Ohio, where Giles recruits Faith to assassinate someone by the name of Lady Genevieve Savage. Not Savage, but Savage, Vidge, who is a new, he's a rogue slayer who is trying to kill Buffy. Meanwhile, Buffy is trying to start thinking about plans on how to fight with Twilight. Issue 7. Apart from the fact that everybody looks cool. Issue 7. Faith manages to infiltrate Savage's estate, only to discover a kinship with her. Willow questions Dumas to why she's... Oh, sorry. Blup. Willow questions Dawn as to how and why she became a giant. There we go. I can't read my own writing. I'm really sorry if I confuse people that way. I'm confused myself. Anyway, this is issue 8. Faith is conflicted when Lady Genevieve reveals that she's going to kill Buffy. Buffy is delivered to Lady G by her mentor by the name of a man by the name of Roden, bringing her face to face with Faith, which I find weird. Something must have happened in the year between, because Faith and Buffy had made up by the end of season 7, and they seem to be on eggshells with each other again here. Number 9. Faith and Genevieve, I can't pronounce today. Faith and Genevieve fight to the death. Guess who wins? Buffy questions Giles about Faith's mission, because Giles actually worked behind Buffy's back on this one. She basically told him not to get involved, and, well, he did. Meanwhile, Twilight meets with a U.S. government agent to discuss this event. Issue 10 and 11 are both single stories. This is issue 10. It's a darker cover, so it may not show as well, but it's a beautiful one. This is the painted one. Painted version. So, oh my God. A Minder named Robin welcomes Buffy and Willow to a place called Tyjat, to a person named Tyjat, who presents the past, present, and future to them. Dawn reveals that she slept with her boyfriend's roommate, which is apparently what made her turn into a giant, because she was a naughty girl. Issue 11 is also a standalone. Buffy invites Satu to dust a group of vamps with her. Buffy tells her that she knows that Satsu was the person who woke her with the true love's kiss. Twilight then finds the girls and announces that he is going to destroy the Slayers. I really, really need to take a penmanship course. All right. Number 12 through 15 are a storyline called Wolves at the Gate. Issue 12. The rest of the Scoobies walk in on Buffy and Satsu in bed together. Whoa. Talk about a twist. A bunch of Japanese vampires breach the castle and steal her scythe. Xander searches for Dracula for help, which is dangerous because if you remember back in season 5, Xander fell under Dracula's sway and became a servant of Dracula. Here we go. Wolves at the Gate Part 2, number 13, issue 13. Dracula realizes that this group of vampire have been siphoning his powers, and he agrees to help. Buffy prepares an attack on the vampires in Tokyo. The vampire Kumiko uses the scythe to depower a slayer by the name of Aiko, who is then killed. In this series, Buffy takes the role of being the den mother of the slayers very seriously. So anytime a slayer gets hurt or killed, she feels it to herself. So this is issue 14. Issue 14, Buffy and her team arrive in Tokyo only to find Aiko has been turned into a vampire. Sorry, my apologies. Into a welcome message with her body entrails and blood. Dracula teaches Willow a spell that helps to destroy and defy the vampires. Dawn is used as a distraction as they attack the lair, which backfires, and another slayer is killed. Issue 15, the climax of this storyline. Dracula sends Willow to perform the spell to destroy all of the vampires' power. Now that the vampires are no longer invincible, the team is able to attack and kill them all. And Dracula becomes Dracula again, and he leaves. Issues 16 to 19 form a storyline called Time of Your Life. Events in this particular storyline lead to parts of season 12. If you read this one, you would understand why certain things happen in season 12. Issue 16. When Buffy and Willow reunite with Kennedy and Vi, who, if you remember, Kennedy was Willow's girlfriend in the season 7, and Vi was played by Felicia Day. To unlock the secrets of the scythe, Buffy is transported to the future by someone by the name of Slayer Malika Frey, who we see in season 12. Meanwhile, Dawn becomes a centaur when the spell to try and change her from a giant doesn't quite work, and the castle is hit by Warren and Amy's rocket. Issue 17. Got a cool cover. Again, if you know season 12, you know who's sitting on the throne. After introducing themselves to each other, Malika and Buffy join forces to discover wonder how they met. Meanwhile, Malika's twin brother Hearth has teamed up with Dark Willow. So sometime in the 200 years between Buffy's time and this time, Willow went dark and she's still alive. Issue 18. Xander and Dawn escape from the besieged castle and enter deep into the forest, only to encounter tree-like beings. In the future, Dark Willow convinces Frey to immobilize Buffy in order to save the world. Again, this carries over to season 12. It's almost like season 12 was a way to clean this up. And now we have issue 19, which is the last of this storyline. When a portal opens temporarily between the timelines, the two times, Buffy manages to race to get back home. However, Dark Willow and Frey make sure that she will do otherwise. Read the book to see how she escapes. And in the present, Riley Finn swears allegiance to Twilight. Number 20 is a solo story. By the way, the reason I'm only trying to give summaries is because I want to encourage people to get these books and read them themselves. These are actually really good. If you are a big Buffy fan and you haven't read these yet, you really should. Number 20 is a solo story. Buffy wakes up and finds herself back in her 16-year-old body. Conflicted with her obligations as Slayer because Cordelia is having a party. Cordelia is another person, Charisma Carpenter, who I've had the pleasure of meeting. What I like about this, that ends what I'm going to show today. I'm going to show the second half of season 8 in another video. Then season 9, 10, and 11 can each have one because they're not even close to the amount of books that this series has. What I like the best about this series, 8, was they brought back a lot of characters. We still haven't got the second half. The second half brings back even more. But in this particular half, we get Amy Madison, we get Warren, we get Riley, we get Tom Lank's character will be in the next one, as will Oz. They're in the second half. I was about to say them. We get to see Kennedy. We get to see Vi. We get to see Faith again. You can't argue with Faith. So very soon, probably in about a month, I will do the second half of this season. If you like what I've done, please like, subscribe, and comment below. I really want to see the comments if you are a Buffy fan and if you've read them or if you'd like to read them. These are available in trade paperback form, 5 issues at a time that I'm aware of. I don't think there's a full run. There may be 6. I'm not sure. It depends on each thing, the way the storylines fell. So, but there are none that are more than 5 issues, even in the back end. So they are still available out there. You can probably still order them because I've seen them at my local comic shop. So as I said, if you like, subscribe, comment below, I'd really appreciate it because I love nothing more than discussing comics. Anyway, my name is Matt, and I like comics, and I hope you do too.